Developmental milestones review. Developmental milestones measure where a child typically is in their growth, motor skills, language, social play, and problem solving. The CDC and AAP updated the milestones in 2022, which was the first significant revision since 2004. This information is educational and not at all exhaustive. Knowing the red flags will help you on your boards and in clinicals. A 2-month-old. A 2-month-old lifts head when prone. Hands are mostly fisted. They're able to grasp and shake their rattle. They smile and coo. Now this happens between 2 to 3 months. They have a social smile. They track faces and objects with their eyes, and they startle to loud noise. There's an initial 10% weight loss in the average newborn in the first 3 to 4 days of life, and this is usually regained by 14 days. A 4-month-old is able to roll from front to back, think abdomen to back, so A to B, holds hands together midline, like in the picture, reaches for objects, brings their hand to their mouth, they laugh, recognize familiar people, and have an increased awareness of objects around them. A 6-month-old sits, rolls back to front, so they can basically roll both ways, are able to do a hand-to-hand transfer of an object, raking grasp, they babble, responds to name. They'll look for partially hidden objects, and they show a preference for their primary caregiver, and they're putting things into their mouth. As far as weight doubles by 6 months, and they're gonna get their first tooth. One of the central incisors will start to erupt. A 9-month-old pulls to stand. The pincer grasp is emerging. They bang objects. They turn pages in their little cardboard book. They say mama, mama, ba, 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 ba. None specifically. They'll lift their arms to be picked up. Okay. Cognitive. They have object permanence, and this starts at about 8 months. And then they'll have the separation anxiety, which starts at about 8 to 9 months. And because they know that things are still there, that's why that separation anxiety is apparent. So as their parents walks away, they'll cry behind them or make noises to let their parents know, hey, I see you. Come back for me. A 12-month-old stands alone, cruises along furniture. Their pincer grasp is now a fine pincer grasp. They'll use simple gestures like shaking their head no. They'll use one-word sentences. They'll put their arm or leg out to help get dressed. They'll show affection to familiar people. They'll follow one-step commands with a gesture. They'll put objects in and out of containers. And now they're starting to actively explore with trial and error. As far as weight triples by 1 year of age. A 15-month-old walks well. They'll stoop to pick up things, uses a spoon, scribbles, points to body parts, imitates chores. They'll follow a one-step command without the gesture. So you wouldn't have to point for them to do it. You just ask them verbally and they'll follow your command. So here's a chart of 2 months to 15 months. You can screenshot it if you like, and then the pictures at the top correlate with the ages. Let's talk about red flags per age group. So if a 2-month-old is not smiling, poor head control, a 4-month-old, no cooing or laughing, persistent head lag, a 6-month, not rolling either way, no babbling or lack of response to voice, still with that poor head control, 9-month-old, not sitting independently, no babbling consonants, doesn't respond to their name, and a 12-month-old, not pulling to stand, not cruising, no single words, no pincer grasp, no gestures, 15 months old, not walking independently, no meaningful words, can't feed self with finger foods. Those are all red flags. Any loss of previously acquired milestones is always a red flag. Let's talk about 18 months through 5 years. At 18 months, a toddler will walk upstairs with help. They scribble, points to 1 to 3 body parts or objects, imitates those around them. They have an ability to solve simple problems without trial and error. Let's talk about 24 months old. They'll walk up and down stairs and put both of their feet on each step prior to continuing. They'll kick the ball, run, and climb. They can copy lines, turn thin pages, and they use a fork. They'll use 2-word phrases and they are 50% intelligible. They engage in parallel play and they follow 2-step commands. As far as weight, their weight quadruples by 2 years. A 36-month-old can ride a tricycle, jumps forward, copies a circle, uses 3-word sentences. They are 75% intelligible by people that do not know them. They participate in cooperative play. They know their name, age, and colors. So the way that I like to remember this is that a 3-year-old can ride a tricycle with 3 wheels, and they will draw one of their wheels, which is the copy the circles part. 48 months old or 4 years old. They're able to hop on 1 foot, climb stairs, alternating feet, catch a ball without falling, draw a square or cross. They're able to use scissors. They can speak in sentences, and their language is 100% intelligible. They engage in cooperative play and imaginary play. They're able to understand opposite analogies. 5-year-old. They're able to skip, catch a ball, jump over objects. They're able to copy a triangle, use future tense. They know their colors. They ask questions like why. They engage in role play, and they're able to follow the rules. They understand if, because, when, and they're able to dress independently. So here is the chart from 18 months to 60 months. You can take a screenshot here if you'd like, and the pictures correlate with each age group. Developmental screening tools used during well-child checkups include Ages and Stages questionnaire, Denver 2 test. This is from birth to 6 years, and it does not test IQ. And then the MChat, which is autism screening at 18 months and 24 months. Children not meeting most milestones should be referred for a full developmental assessment. Let's go into some practice questions. A 9-month-old infant is brought for a well-child visit. Which developmental skill would you expect at this age? Walks independently, says 2-word phrases, pulls to stand, copies a circle. C. Pulls to stand. During a 2-year-old's checkup, which developmental milestone is expected? Copies a triangle, hops on 1 foot, uses 2-word phrases, rolls front to back. The answer is uses 2-word phrases. A 4-year-old is seen in clinic. Which skill is most appropriate for this age? Balances on 1 foot for 10 seconds, draws a cross, rides a tricycle, says mama and dada. The answer is draws a cross. At a 6-month visit, which finding would be developmentally normal? Transfers objects hand to hand, walks upstairs, alternating feet, draws a square, uses 3-word sentences. A. Transfers objects hand to hand. This brings us to the end of developmental milestones. Make sure you catch other videos on this channel for more high-yield content that sticks.